Clarity. I'm Brian Valeriano, and today is the final episode. I think. Who knows? Maybe we'll reboot this thing back up at some point in the future. But yeah, this is it. Since last week, after last week's episode, I really got hit with this conviction. Basically, like, what am I doing? And it's funny because a few weeks ago on one of the episodes, I was like, I'm committing to a full year of these episodes, every one a week, and posting on social media every day, and then we're gonna see what happens. And I don't know what it was, but I just yeah, I just realized really, like, how do you change the world? And like that's what I'm trying to do. When I set out on this journey a few years ago, I was like, I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna help millions of people. I'm gonna change their lives. All this impact, all this stuff. And I think in that, I tied my self worth to the quantity of lives that I help and that I change. And somewhere along the way, I like about this time last year, I thought, just like freaking everybody else is doing right now, social media and like podcasting is that's the way to do that. That's how you change people's lives. That's how you impact people. And not only has it not not only has it not really like worked technically, uh, which is definitely part of this, but I don't know. I just realized, like, is that really how you change the world? And is it really about quantity or is it about quality? And so I've just been thinking a lot, and it's like a bittersweet thing. I feel like I'm doing like a Michael Jordan retirement press conference right now. It's just so not that deep. I'm not that important. Um, no, but like this is, I don't know. I think anything that you do that you go freaking balls to the wall for, expecting it to like be something and turn into something, give you these external results that you expect. It's hard to let go of that. It's hard to be like, yeah, wave the white flag and be like, yeah, it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And that's kind of what this is, but it's that, but it's an evolution. Like, I'm not giving up on helping people. Like, the mission still remains the same. I don't think this is how you do it anymore. And I really needed to come to this realization myself too, because I'm incredibly stubborn. And so anyways, like, for myself, for the future, or whoever's listening to this right now, like, I just kind of wanted to just kind of share this thought process a little bit. Like, I kind of journaled about this yesterday to kind of wrap my head around this, because there's a lot of reasons that are ultimately going into this decision. But I want to talk about like why I'm stopping, which I kind of just talked about, what I'm going to do instead, why this has all still been worth it, and why I'd do it all again. Um, and maybe why it's hard to do this, and also, like, weirdly, how this is like a clarity moment. I was laying in bed last night. I was like, this is weirdly, this is kind of quarter life clarity, I think. And so, anyways, like, in terms of why I'm stopping, beyond what I just said, like, the whole social media podcasting thing, I hate that everybody's doing it. I hate that it's like normal now. I'm someone that if everybody's doing it, that's like a red flag to me. And so we know that social media is not good for us. And even just like, say, for example, a post does pop off or this podcast does blow up. Like, how many people are just listening to it for entertainment, and how many people are just listening to it um, versus people that are listening to this and actually changing because of it? Actual behavior change or perspective shifts. Like, that's the goal. And so for me, it's like, I kind of see this as a waste of time a little bit, because one, I don't know how much this is really affecting someone, how much this is actually creating change in another human being. I just don't really know that. But it's also like, I just want to spend more time in real life. Another huge part of this is that, like, thinking about, oh man, excuse me, thinking about how to change the world. Also, we got Cheerios in the background today. I was like, fuck it. Like, I don't care about moving the table. So we got Cheerios in the background today, if you're watching. But yeah, like, real life, right? Real freaking life outside of a screen. That's crazy. That's a crazy concept for us. But it's like, I want to live there. Selfishly, I just want to do more stuff in real life. I hate being on my phone. Part of me hates the fact that I post on social media every day. And so it's been like a reality that I've kind of just forced my way through, and truly thought I could help people by doing so, and think I have reached people in some way. But I don't know, like, I was working at the diner. I was getting some work done at the diner the other day, and this dad and his two sons sat in the booth right across from me, and I don't know, it's just like, that's what life's about. It's like that, I don't know, it did something to my heart, and I was just like, man, that's freaking awesome. Like, I want to do that. I want that. What am I doing sitting here freaking talking to a camera? Like, yeah, and with that too, you know, the biggest thing is the whole changing the world and impacting people. Like, I also think about all the people in my life that I'm neglecting right now. Like, in my phone, which is, I was gonna grab it, but it's on the couch over there. All the contacts I have in my phone that I'm neglecting, that I could reach out to them right now and be like, hey man, I hope you're doing good. Let's grab a coffee, or just send a voice message, an encouraging message. I've lost that. I haven't been doing that as much. I haven't been focusing on the circle that God has provided me with, the people that are already in my life, that circle of influence. No, I'm being like, screw that. I'm going to try and reach the masses. And I think that's flawed. I don't think, from like a God faith perspective, it's like, I don't know. Some people, yeah, that's great. Some people, like, that is in God's plan for their life, to reach like a bunch of people, right? We need that. But it's also like so few and far between. And yet we compare ourselves to those people, especially if you're in this space, if you're a podcaster or a social media person. Like, it's incredibly easy to compare yourself to the people that have the massive following, that are really helping people on that large of a scale. And kind of what I'm saying is, like, I want to do away with that thinking. Like, I want quality over quantity. Before this, I got a haircut today, and the barber that I go to, he's probably a couple years younger than me. Like, I've been going to him for years. And, he told me that he started reading the Bible. And we had an awesome conversation just about God and life. And it was phenomenal. Like, he might come to church. Like, it's that like divine appointment that, especially today of all days, it was kind of that weird confirmation for me of like, this is how you change someone's life. You sit there and you have a conversation with them. It's the one-on-one. And I feel like I've neglected a lot of that. And really tried to overstep that and just go straight to the masses when, there's so many people in my life that I could be reaching. I could be sitting down to have a cup of coffee with. I could be giving a call more. And I don't say it to like sound guilty. Like, I don't feel guilty or shame about that. It's just that, like, that's God's placed people in our lives for a reason. And I just kind of want to lean more into that. I want to lean more into real life. And so, yeah, and I just want to live slower, man. I haven't really been present a whole lot these past few years. Like, it's tough when you're constantly thinking about ways to help other people. It's almost like I've gone too far into that. And I've neglected a lot of the things that are actually important. And it's not a race, like, man, I've been chasing something. I've been chasing this impact, this helping people, which are good things. This whatever thing I'm trying to build, this business, this brand, to really help people, but also so that it supports me. And over the years, I've just been chasing that. I've been chasing all this impact and this quantity of people that I can impact, and just been really driven by this internal greatness that I believe and know that I have. It's like it's been a burden almost. It's been a burden that if I'm not helping X amount of people, if I haven't impacted X amount of lives, then I'm a failure. Which is which is not a place to be in when you're not doing that. And that's like, you're missing the whole point. So there's so many realizations. There's so much stuff. And I'm just looking at my notes here. It's, so this is, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. Why it's still been worth it. Let's just jump to that, which 11 minutes. Okay. No clue how long this is going to be. Why it's still been worth it. Because technically, and before I even say that, I'm not giving up on, again, like I started to say this, but I'm not giving up on helping people and making an impact in people's lives. I just realized that I can do that kind of in my everyday life by being more available to the people that are already around me. It's that, but it's also like kind of what I'm going to do instead, is not only like reach out to more people that are in my circle, but I mean, I'm also like, I'm coaching baseball right now. I'm doing that part-time, college kids, and there's 50 guys that I can impact their lives right there. If I kind of lean more into that, that's right there. That's already happening in my life. And that's in real life, which is dope. I'm going to be a firefighter. I don't know if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I said that. But that's something that came out of nowhere that I'm kind of running with. And there's plenty of impact to be had there. So focusing on that, like also, what I'm really excited about, which like the entrepreneur side of things, the business part of it is gonna be, I'm gonna build out this Christian guys like community, and you could call it life coaching, but more or less like getting Christian guys together and helping them with life. I mean, that's who I am. That's who I've been for the past few years, is trying to figure out life, trying to grow spiritually, while figuring out career, figuring out relationships, all this stuff, physical health, like all this stuff. Like I kind of look at myself and it's like, dude, you're jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal. So my plan now is to help that guy who, I don't know what they might be dealing with, whether it's a spiritual, physical health thing, mental health thing, whatever it might be. I've dealt with plenty of shit like that, and not try and reach the masses, but get like 12 committed Christian guys that are like, I want to grow. These are the problems. These are the things I'm struggling with. Get them all in a space together. Have small groups, like maybe 3 small groups within those 12. Have opportunities for me to be one-on-one with them and be super hands-on, so that I'm not treating them just like a number. I'm not trying to get the next sale or whatever it might be. And also like have, bring in other people in my life, like other pastors or whoever, to do more teaching stuff and like create this tight-knit group of 12 guys who are all seeking God and like trying to just live better lives. And I don't know, like for a while I've had that idea, but I want to reach them. Like the only way to do that is if you get, 100 guys in there and it's this ongoing thing. It's like, no, you don't have to do that. Get a small group of guys, 12 guys. That's how Jesus did it, by the way. Jesus changed the world from 12 dudes that were pretty messed up, by the way. Which is another, I know this is all, I'm just throwing words at people, but I don't care. That was another reason why I kind of thought about this. Like, how do you change the world? Well, let's look at the guy that's probably the most influential person in the world ever. Let's see what he did. And shout out Scott Taylor, who's one of my mentors, for kind of over the past few months, like kind of expressing that in me and not saying you should do it this way, but more so just saying like that's how Jesus changed the world, and maybe we should look at that. He did it with 12 guys, and he did it with, there was an inner circle, James, John, and Peter, within that. And he did preach to the masses, he did. But man, that dude ran from the crowds. Like he tried to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible and just help the one. And so that's, again, there's so many realizations that are in this. But yeah, this kind of next phase, this next season kind of looks like me focusing on the people that are in front of me and leaning into those people. I am pursuing firefighting, so that's cool. Coaching baseball, slowly building this young Christian guys community. I want to write more. That's what I realized is like with this podcast, and with some of the social media stuff, like I want to go to such deep places. And I think I'm capable of that. I know I'm capable of that. And I don't know if it's in this setting though. That's the thing. And so I've started to write a little bit more lately. I've always kind of journaled, but like poetry, like essay, I don't know. I just kind of want to fan the flame of that different creative muscle. And I mean, shit, I started playing the guitar more lately. I might try and get on other people's podcasts. Anyways, that's kind of what this looks like, but it's really nice to kind of just be like, you know what? This didn't quite work out how I wanted, and which actually leads to my next point. Like, it's still been worth it. I would still do this all again. I would probably change some stuff. Like, I would not do it exactly how I did it. I think I spent way too much time on like dumb details that didn't really matter. But I think this is important because, again, one of the realizations that I had is, right, why do dreams die? I've been thinking about that lately. Why do dreams not work out? And why do so many people have that story? Whether it was a career, a dream job, a relationship, whatever it might be. Why does that happen? And I have plenty of thoughts that are God-related thoughts, but I think it's because we idolize those things when God's the only thing that should really be one. Like, and I see that myself. I see me over the past few years idolizing impact, even fame a bit. Like, it'd be dumb if I didn't say that, even subconsciously. Impact, helping people, money for myself, like good things, by the way. But when they're ultimate things, like shit, I've gone through it. I've had so many moments where I'm just like freaking burnt out and I'm dead because shit, man, it's not working out. The podcast only got freaking 16 views last week. What am I doing wrong? And you spiral. And so that, but it's also like why it's been still worth it. Man, so many things. But I mean, who I've become is definitely, that's the answer. Who I've become in the process of doing this. I mean, this is like a scary thing to do. Just throw up a mic and just start talking. A year ago, a little bit more than a year ago too, before I even started this, 2 years ago for sure, 5 years ago, freaking damn right. This is so taboo. Like, what? My whole life, I've hated speaking. I've had a low amount of confidence. I've always been, like, for the most part, pretty shy. There's a fear of saying the wrong thing. There's so much shit that by doing this, I've just overcome the fear of what other people think, the fear of, I mean, talking about God too. It's like, if nothing else, that has made this all worth it. And I wrote down yesterday, Just because I didn't get what I wanted externally doesn't mean I didn't get what I needed internally. I thought that was kind of a bar because, like, that's it. That is for sure it. I wanted all these things. I wanted, right, the fame, the success, the money, the impact more than like helping people, good thing. And I didn't really get it. And I haven't gotten it. And I'm still saying that I don't have any regrets. And I think that's the difference maker. That's the thing that I was thinking about this past week. Like, how many stories of people do you hear that they caution you when you're like chasing a dream or chasing whatever this thing is? They say to not do it. A lot of people will say that, I think. I don't know. But in my experience, they've kind of said that. And my experience is right. I made a post about this the other day. I've lost like probably $100,000 in the past 3 years since trying to be an entrepreneur. Technically, a lot of people would say you wasted time. I would not say that at all. I moved back in with my parents. Like, the worst case scenario has happened. When I was sitting down 3-4 years ago now, contemplating, should I do this? I thought of the worst case scenario is I lose all my money. I move back in with my parents. I have to start over when I'm 20, whatever. And yeah, that sucks. But I'm still, like, as someone that's kind of sitting in that right now, I'm still saying I would do it all again. There's not any bone in my body that would say differently. And I don't say that to be stubborn. I say that because it's true. Because of who I've become along this process. Because of my dependence on God, that I've like needed to have so much faith and reliance on him throughout this, which I would say is like a purpose of life, just for us to be fully surrendered and reliant on God. Like, just that alone makes this all worth it. Not to mention like public speaking, creativity, getting over all these fears, courage, the courage that I have developed and the confidence that I now have in myself, and just not really giving a shit about what other people think. Yeah, 100% that's happened. The ability to teach, time management, not being afraid to be myself. Like, that's a huge one. Like, getting closer to who I actually am at my core. All of this stuff. And so I think it's foolish to say that it hasn't been worth it because I didn't get the external stuff that I expected to when I set out on this journey. And maybe that's my message. Maybe that's my message of, you know, whatever thing you think you should do or that dream you want to chase, whatever it is, I would tell anybody to freaking go for it because of all that. Because who you are, which I would say is like the goal of life, is becoming more like Jesus. But if you don't like that, the best version of yourself. That's the goal. That's one of the goals of life. One of the purposes. And something like this, doing this crazy shit where it's like risky and, it might not work out. It's worked out in other ways. And so if you're someone that's like contemplating making a big change or a big risk, as someone who's dealt with their worst case scenario rather, I would still do it. And my situation was different. With that being said, I had plenty of money to kind of just throw away if I wanted to. And my worst case scenario is still like being able to move back home and I still have a roof over my head. I have food on the table. Like, yeah, that's not everybody's story though. And lastly, also why it's been worth it beyond that stuff is I'd like to think, right, let's get back to the podcast, not just entrepreneurial business stuff. Like, if I helped one person think differently or get closer to God or take action in their life, whatever it might be, if I helped one person do that, then that's a success. And I don't just say that just to say that. Like, that's a shift that's been happening over the past few months is just, you know what? I just want to help the one. Again, quality over quantity. Like this has kind of already been happening. It took till this week to all culminate. But I think if we think about life that way, it's in a time where social media is so present and likes and follows and views are what matters. That's currency. Like it's such a slippery slope, especially when you're doing it. When you're just consuming it, it's probably doesn't rub off on you as much, but shit man, when you're posting and when you're contributing, it's really hard to not like tie yourself to that. And to avoid that, I'll post and I'll immediately really like delete Instagram and TikTok to just be like, all right, I sent it out there, I did my job, and whatever happens, happens. But yeah, just helping the one person. All right, let's move on. I want to talk about clarity for a second. 26 minutes, whatever. Whoever listens to this, if you're listening to it, whatever, you're locked in at this point. So I want to talk about clarity because, like I said, weirdly, this is all clarity. I have clarity about this. I wouldn't say I'm like fully like, yeah, 100%, this is the right thing to do. No, I don't think that's how clarity works. I think it's like, I don't know, I'm like 75% sure this is the right thing to do. And it's just like that in a time, especially, right? Quarter life clarity, right? Quarter life clarity. We want on the surface, what that sounds like is like, oh, this is something that's going to like, it has all my answers to like life and all this stuff and my money, like financial help and, you know, how to buy a house and like shit that I've done. Like I've had podcasts about those things. And honestly, where I've turned, you know, especially the past couple months is like really talking about God, because in all of that, like God is the silver bullet. I would say that, like getting a relationship with God, knowing who Jesus is, like that's the thing. That's who has provided me with the most clarity. So that's why I've been talking about that. But people don't really like that answer. But outside of that, like a few things come to mind in terms of if you're looking for clarity in your life, especially in your 20s. Based on my own experience, in terms of like decision making, right? Because it all goes back to that. Trying to figure out what to do. I think it's understanding that there's not going to be a perfect decision, first off. You know, I look back on my journey and it's like, I thought about things. I thought about the consequences of maybe if things didn't work out or what would happen if this happened. And before I like would pivot to quarter life clarity or pivot to starting the podcast or whatever it was along the way, I thought about my decisions. And then I was like, you know what? This is the best I got right now. And like, we're just going to go for it. And I think that's really all this is. I think if your 20s is nothing else, then it's thinking as best you can about what you're about to do and then doing it and finding out, committing every single bone, like being in your body to finding out, is this the right thing? Is this the direction that my life's supposed to go? And that's what I've done. And like, if nothing else, like that's something I'm really, really proud of. You know, I was just sitting on the couch over the weekend and I was thinking about this. I was thinking about like the fact that I'm about to hang them up and kind of just pivot to something else. And it's like, I have zero regrets because every single step along the way, I've given it 1000%. I've been so committed. I've worked my face off, probably too much. And I found out, no, this is not the arena that you're supposed to be in. And you're getting closer, but this is not quite it. So just keep moving through this. Yeah, it kind of blows, but it's leading you somewhere. And I think regret can creep in if you're not, if you, and only you know this, if you're giving 100%. And yeah, there's plenty of things that I look back on now. It's like I would do stuff way differently if I could do it again. But that's not the metric. The metric is in the moment, at the time, did you do the best you possibly could with the information that you had? Did you make the best decision you possibly could? It's like, yeah, I did. And then I decided and I went for it. And oftentimes fell on my face in doing so. And I guess I say that because, I don't know, we can look for this silver bullet to tell us exactly what life we're supposed to live and what to do. And it's like, no, man, you got to figure it out. Even with God, like God's not going to give you the answers. I saw something the other day. It's like, if you ask God to win a marathon or run a marathon, he's not going to give you a medal. He's going to give you running shoes. And it's like, yeah, like that's my story. And it's like, it's hard. This whole thing has been hard. There's been highs and lows, but who I've become, the growth that I've seen in myself is plenty to be proud of. And so if nothing else, I just want to encourage you, if you're just like, don't really know what to do with your life, or you're contemplating a decision, or you're struggling in some way, all you can do is do the best you can with what you have today. Make the best decision that you can. And I would say too, like, again, I don't want to harp on it, but like, seek God. Like, he will direct your steps. And it really helps. It's a lot easier for him to do that when you're spending time with him. And I don't want to go all preacher mode, but honestly, right before this, I opened Instagram, and the first reel that popped up, this guy said, 15-second prayer that anybody can pray. And if you're far from God or don't really know who God is, I would challenge you to just say these words. God, if you're real, make yourself real to me. Just say that and see what happens. God, if you're real, make yourself real to me. That's it. And I'll just leave that there. But yeah, I think it's not having regrets. It's going hard at something and finding out. Because I that's the last thing I wanted going into this is, knowing that I could have done more, that I could have worked harder or whatever, and it not worked out, and then think like, oh man, I never really found out. What if I did this differently? What if I worked hard? Whatever. And I don't want that. And I think when I'm 90, I'm going to be really proud of this too. Yeah. So, I mean, this is hard. This is hard for me because I hate quitting things. Again, very stubborn. I hate quitting things. And especially in a world that says like, right, work hard, like especially in that, if you're in the entrepreneur space or motivational, whatever, you hear that. You hear, work hard, don't ever give up, all that stuff. And yeah, that's what I've like lived off of for a while, but and it's not giving up. It's just an iteration. It's trying something different. It's doing something new. Like, you can work as hard as you possibly can, but if you're in the wrong arena, then it's not going to work. And I think that's kind of something I've realized is, God has created each of us to fulfill whatever calling. Like he created, or he decided what purpose he wanted to use us for, each of us. And then he created us. Because once you know what you want to use the thing for, then you can create the thing perfectly for that purpose. Does that make sense? And I say that because, like, right, for me, I'm getting closer and closer to whatever this thing is, and all these experiences, they're leading somewhere. It's leading to something. At the very least, it's making me better. And so um, that's why I think it's trying stuff. If you're not content, I would say chase it. I would tell you to chase it and find out. If it doesn't work, you found out. And that's how kind of how I've operated. I've just been chasing all this stuff, and for the first time in a long time, I'm like content. I'm content with real life. I'm excited to live real life and not have to necessarily do this anymore, and not treating it like it's a job. And there's so much pressure, like it's taking its toll. And so yeah, um, man, I'm trying to really get everything in while I can here, but yeah, I think I don't know. It's been a fun season to do this. It's been freaking great to try it. I hate quitting stuff, but it's just been, I don't know, it's been a strong realization. Again, going back to changing the world, like that's the goal, and that's always been the goal. I think the definition of what that is has never really been clear to me until kind of right now. Where it's like, how do you change the world? Well, start with the people that are around you. Be more loving and kind to them, encouraging, all that stuff that I know I'm capable of. Um, so I don't know. I guess I'll leave it at that. This is plenty long enough as it is. Um, with that, like I'm not gonna disappear. Like I'm gonna still probably write some things and post them on social media. Like social media might not completely go away, but I don't need it anymore. And that's a really freaking cool place to be. Like the contentment that I've felt just being able to go for a walk and turn my brain off and not think like, oh, what should I conjure up to post on social media? It's just, man, it's like exhausting. Tonight I'm going to they're doing baptisms at my church, and I'm helping out, and I'm like freaking so pumped. Like that's a real life thing. That's a real life thing that's happening that I'm gonna be part of, and like that's symbolic of somebody's life like changing forever. And it's like do more stuff like that. You know, I would just if nothing else from this long ass rambling session that you if you're still here are freaking God bless you. Um, it's like do more stuff in real life. It's crazy. It's such a freaking simple thing, but man, 20 years ago before the smartphone, it's like what was life like? I think we're seeing that. I really do. I think a lot of people are feeling that. I might still do like community events, and I had the coffee shop thing. We did that event and got people together. I think I did too much with that event. I kind of just, maybe I get people together and hey, guys, let's go for a hike, or let's get together and whoever wants to come, let's hang out at a coffee shop. Like in real life stuff that for me, it's not tied to like a business or making money, which is a lot of kind of what I've operated from. So anyways, I'm not giving up on this. I'm not giving up on helping people and making a great impact. It's just that definition of what changing the world really looks like is just, it's not quantity, it's quality. And so I'm excited to do that. I'm excited for myself to kind of let this go. I think that's what a lot of this is it's letting go of this vision that you had for your life, that you were going to be the guy that's like got like the 1,000,000 followers and all this. And it's like, I don't even know if I freaking want that, dude. Something I've been praying lately is, God, thank you for protecting me from myself. Because I don't know what I want or need, I think we think that. I think we believe that, yeah, I know what I want and I know what I need. And it's like, you don't. We don't. God does. It's really hard. And I've been living proof of that. It's really hard to like figure out exactly what you're supposed to do. Again, hence why I would say try stuff, go hard at it, see what happens, man. No regrets. So with that, how long are we at? Probably 40 minutes. 39. Great. I would also say 80% sure is good enough. Shit. Freaking 60% sure is good enough. In terms of decision making, just go, dude. Like, just go and find out. Go through that door. Go hard at it. Now I'm a broken record, but that's given me the most clarity. It's trying stuff, being fully committed to it, finding out, and trusting God. Those are the things. That's what I would say if you're looking for clarity. There is no perfect decision. And so, yeah, we'll see. Right now, this is what's happening. And I don't know. The future's uncertain, but I think letting go and not needing this to work is going to make me a lot better at helping people and reaching people and going to those deep places that I really want to go to. So if you want to, hit me up. Like, again, I'm not going to disappear. I'm still alive. But yeah, let me know if anything resonated here with you. You know, comment on a video. Hit me up on Instagram, Quarter Life Clarity, QTR Life Clarity, which I might change that back to my regular name. I don't know. But appreciate you guys listening. Like, if you're this far, you probably listened to a podcast before of mine. And so, yeah, I appreciate you. You're probably a friend of mine, or not, which is great. But whoever you are, thank you for supporting me along this journey. I hope it's helped you. I hope you've got freaking something from this. And at the very least, just I don't know, just know that it's not a straight line, and I think that's okay. And I guess I want to give you permission that, like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to get it wrong in front of everybody. I've done it, like, in front of my friends, in front of my family. Like, it's okay. You're not going to die. And that's the life that I want to live. That's who I want to be. And it's bittersweet. It's a proud moment. I don't know. I gotta end this thing, but thank you for listening, whether this is your first episode or hopefully it's not. It's probably a tough one to start with since this is the last one. But yeah, anyone that's supported, anyone that's reached out, anyone that's just encouraged me along the way, those little things go a long way. Just a simple text, a simple voice memo to let someone know that you're thinking of them. I think that changes the world. And, you know, all the people that have done that for me, all that has really helped. It's been gasoline for me, truly, in the tough moments where it's like you have those thoughts, like, what the fuck am I doing? Is this the right way? Is this the right direction? And somebody texts you and says, hey, this really helped me. And that's it. And so I just want to encourage you from afar and tell you that I'm rooting for you as well. And I appreciate you guys listening. So, yeah. Michael Jordan out.